I volunteered for a post at Anti-Aircraft Command. I wanted to feel like I was doing something real for the war effort, and I didn't join the army just to sit behind a desk. I finally got accepted. We went off for 6 weeks of training at Arborfield Camp near Reading, and it was the hardest thing I've ever done. As soon as we arrived, we got marched straight to the stores to pick up our battle dress uniform. I'd never even owned a pair of trousers before that day, and they took some getting used to. And the less said about the long johns we have to wear on the cold nights, the better. The uniform isn't as nice as the Wrens or the WAF, but it's practical, and there is a war on. We're all trained up in mixed groups of men and women, but we're all new to the army, so it's quite nice to be the same level. Although the lads did still keep predicting that the guns would scare the women and send them running. It is quite frustrating that we can't fire the weapons, or load them. And it's all down to this royal proclamation. But we spent our days doing technical training, drill practice and aircraft recognition instead. The day finally came for us to get our roles. The most common role in this job is the searchlight operators. And it is an important job, but I wanted to do something bigger. After seeing the devastation that the Germans wrought in Coventry back home, I wanted to fight back. I wanted to get the hunt. We kept our fingers crossed as we were sectioned out, and finally I was told that I was going to be on the height and rangefinder with Kathleen and Jean. It's like a giant telescope that tells you the altitude of the planes, and it's one of the most elite positions. The instructor even turned around to me and said, "There'll be no smoking and drinking for you, lass. You need steady hands and quick reactions for this job." The next day, we were moved up to Norfolk to start practicing. And we were so mentally and physically exhausted after that week. We even lost our voices because we were shouting out the orders so loudly. One night, the alarm went off and we were all asleep. And we all flung on our greatcoats over our pyjamas, rammed our bare feet into our shoes and ran out to the gun park. We sat there in position watching the searchlights crisscrossing all over the sky, and then finally there was a flash of silver and the captain shouted, "Engage!" We swiveled the height and rangefinder, found the lead plane and shouted the altitude to the team. They all got into action. We waited there held our breaths and waited for that direct hit. There was no massive explosion, there was no debris falling from the sky, but I looked into the sight and I saw the lead plane swerve, and we all knew what that meant. Without a 30-second clear run up to their target, there was a small chance that they would hit it. We didn't cheer, we didn't applaud, we just sat there in silence, in the thrill of the moment.